My name is Victoria Montes from Fort Hall, Idaho, and I'm Shoshone Bannock.
My name is Cora Martinez. I am from Fort Hall, Idaho, and Shoshone Bannock.
So on February 2nd, let me backtrack. So on January 28th was the last time I seen him, like in person. He was like at my house. Or the 29th, it was the 29th. Yeah, and that was a Monday morning. He came to my house on a Sunday, the 28th, stayed the 29th, left that same morning, and he left Tuesday, I'm sorry, but we were looking for him, and because we hadn't heard from him that week, and we're like, because he rode with his sister, and he rode with her, because I live here in Fort Hall, but on the south side of the res, and she worked at IHS, and so she was going to work, and he rode with her, and he got dropped off at my mom's house, and she lives here in Fort Hall, and he went to I guess you could say a trap house of this girl he was hanging out with. That was her house, and we kind of knew he was there, and he'd be hanging out with his friends and stuff. And he had a phone, so we were just trying to call him because we hadn't heard from him for two days, right?
Yeah.
2 days, and we kept trying to call him. We didn't know where he was, but that was the last known place where he was, that we knew he was. And so Friday morning, which was February 2nd, my daughter got wind from somebody that the trap house he got dropped off at was on fire, or there was like a small fire there. And so we're like, what? Like she went to go check it out, and then all of a sudden everybody, like, because I didn't have Facebook then, and this was
said there was a body. There was a body in there.
Yeah,
and they were saying that it was my brother, because we didn't know.
Yeah, and so her coworker told her that house was on, or there was a house fire there, and so we're like, okay. And then everybody kept calling, like, they're saying that, that it's him at that house. And I didn't want to believe it, and I couldn't, like, I don't know, but I had a feeling, like a gut feeling. For some reason, I started crying, and then I got ready. I got my little grandkids ready because I was taking care of 2 of them that morning, and we got ready and we went to my mom's house because my mom lives like maybe not even a mile away from this house. And so I called the police department, and they told me that they couldn't give me no information of like what was going on or anything like that. So we waited around. We waited there from probably 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning until it was in the afternoon. No. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I got a call from from one of the detectives here in Fort Hall, and he told me, and I knew him because I used to work with him. So he's like, where are you? Are you at your house, or are you at your mom's house? I'm like, I'm in Fort Hall. Did I leave? Did we leave?
No, we stayed at
Yeah, okay, we stayed at my mom's house, and I was like, I'm at my mom's house here in Fort Hall. He's like, okay. He's like, I'm already almost to your house, and because we live like 25 minutes away. He's like, okay, I'll turn around and I'll come meet with you. And I'm like, okay. So he got there and he told us that it wasn't my son that they found. And they they confirmed it was his body because of the tattoo he had on his back. And his body, like, they I say they, but I don't really know for sure if it was more than one person. But one person did ultimately, confess to everything he did to my son. And I guess he was burnt in the back, his body. He got shot 5 times. After everything was all said and done, they confirmed that he got shot 5 times, 4 times in the chest and 1 in the arm. And they let him lay in that trailer house for 2 days. So on his autopsy, it was cause of death was insanguination, right? Which is bleeding out. And they tried to burn his body, so I think his whole top part of his body was burnt. And the reason why, or there was 2 people that allegedly drug his body out of that house. And see, that's the part we don't know, what really happened that morning, because that was about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday the 2nd. They drug his body out of the house because it was on fire, or the person that shot him was, trying to get rid of my son's body. And that was the most hardest thing to ever have to deal with in my life, losing my son in such a way that was just so evil. And the person that ultimately did confess to killing him and trying to get rid of him, he barely got sentenced in January of this year. And they gave him, so the original charge was second-degree murder, and then use of a firearm in Indian country was the second charge. And so since there was no witnesses that wanted to come forward or anything like that, and this person kept saying he needed psych meds, so that's why we had to keep delaying the court proceedings, because he'd have to stabilize on psych medication. Then they stabilized him, and then they did it 3 different times, where what is it called? A competency, that's what it's called. And so finally they decided, we're gonna go ahead and go forth with this. And he asked, he had talked to his attorney and stuff, and asked if he could plead guilty to voluntary manslaughter. And I was, me and my family thought about it, and we're just thinking if we didn't do it, it was going to lead to a mistrial, or something so bizarre. So we just waited, and we accepted the plea that he wanted to plead guilty to. So he was sentenced to 21 years, and he's already sat six of it, and he's just has to serve the, how many? 21, so 16 years is what he has left. And yeah, but it's been so hard surviving and living without my son, that was my only boy. So I have 3 daughters and my son. And I look at his pictures now, and it's it doesn't seem like he's gone, you know? It's like he's just gonna pop back up sometime. And it's just hard.
Take a minute.
But it's like that spring, like I felt like my whole life stopped, you know, like I don't know, it's just like now, like I'm barely like snapping out of it and trying to like find myself again and my daughters as well. And he left behind a little boy and he's 9 now. And I think out of all this, that's been like the hardest because he has to, you know, live without his dad for forever now. And yeah. But I think like things like this that happen to our Native people, you know, I mean, Native people are special, and for another Native to have done that too, you know what I mean? Like, I just, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand how people could go to the depths of, like, who thinks of some of the stuff that they do, you know? Like, I don't get it. And my son, he was young and trying to find his way, and maybe it was just wrong place, wrong time. Like, we really don't know a reason of what really happened because nobody, you know, he'll never tell us, and we'll never hear my son's side. So, and yeah, I mean, it's just really sad. It's like he was taken for nothing pretty much. I mean, that's how I see it. And that's not fair, you know, what this person did to my son. Like, and for him to have only gotten the little time he did, I mean, what can I do? But I will never let his name be in vain.